in a survival situation. Oh, wow.
This isn't going to work. With paper cups, I have seen it. You put a paper cup in.
Minutes and counting.
Yeah, we are over half an hour. Remember, it took 2 minutes and on fire or something like that before it gets the water boiling. So there's our lacquer.
Yes, there it goes.
And I'm sure some of the wood lighting. You fill water, maybe with an egg in there, and it burns the edge, like a kind of boil that we did with the metal pot. But
we shouldn't have a problem here.
Oh, it's soft. Still, I suspect that is a decent amount of water, and so it does have a certain amount of energy it has to take. In today's video, we're testing out a comment asking if it's possible to boil water.
Boiling water.
So we've just got
right in the center of a fire, so.
And I don't think you'd be able to do it too many times before your bowl goes. There's even, I think, some little bubbles down at the bottom. It's very hot water. But I don't think we have the same type of rolling boil where the average temperature is hot enough to evaporate. There are bubbles forming on the sides of the bowl. Now, I don't know if that's gases.
Chemical water. Well, while Nate, whatever's holding the bowl together,
it could just.
We might want to move away.
All right. Well,
if I didn't have gloves on, I wouldn't. Bowl. Now let's look at the bottom. Nate, look at this.
Wooden bowl after, if it will even boil enough that it will evaporate. And I don't think we actually have that. We have some
propane stove and last in our forge.
First, let's try it on an electric burner. Bubbling. That to me means we really did it because the water, as well as say a metal bowl, which is what you'd normally want to do this in, or maybe glass for heat of the water.
Now what I'm loving here is you can actually see this charred
boiling water in them. The problem, of course, is that wood on the side with more heat directly blowing onto it.
31.
We'll take you directly to our last video. You should go.
So this is going to take longer.
And maybe it's so insulated even that the outside will actually like catch.
Burner. Then on the bowl, the lacquer is actually starting to bubble up, meaning the whole thing is starting to get all the way around it just from the heat coming off of the top. I think that's really going to help.
Oh, there we go. Pot. Guys, that's it for fridge temperature is hot.
It's to burn. So we could get a fire up here. We could get scorching on the bottom.
Maybe like the top will be on fire.
North.
We've got a bowl on fire.
Yeah.
Out of the fire and putting that into the water inside the container. But wood's pretty uncommon for boiling. Doesn't conduct heat well, light on fire. And we got water that started heating up, like there's steam.
Time that it took to even get this to start bubbling.
Don't forget to ring that bell and we will see you.
It's a little bit more insulated, so it's gonna be a little bit harder for that heat to transfer.
In a wooden bowl. That's pretty quick.
Yeah. Finish his bubbled. I'm gonna pour this out.
Got used up. There are traditional methods of boiling water in flammable. 48 seconds to boil in our metal bowl, and over half an hour, So the question is if we can get the water to boil without the bowl burning up and disintegrating. You can boil water in a wooden bowl, and yes, it turns out you can. It's just
the bowl that we had on the
black ring around the top.
I think our lacquer on the inside has already begun to melt. This is much nicer. I like this.
Does not conduct heat nearly as.
Edges might burn, but in the water, it waits until it evaporates until the material itself starts. Edge, and then down below, you're still seeing that beautiful wood finish.
Not only the charred edge, but we definitely are not at a boil yet.
No, I can still put my hand in that. So yes, these aren't very. Is it bad that I'm separating?
Yeah.
It's hot water. I wasn't wearing gloves.
First, we're going to use a lot more heat bit. In fact, some of those yellow flames, I believe, are the bowl catching on fire already. So. All right, we don't have.
That's the lacquer. I think we're burning the lacquer coating.
It's outside of the bowl.
Oh yeah.
That looks like boiling water. 2 minutes and 48 seconds it took for that to hit full boil.
There's ash in there. The varnish.
I got this one now too. Great, because it's only boiling oil in the metal bowl to boil, but it should insulate the sides. So.
Here's the basic idea. We are going to try and boil water in our wooden bowl. First on the electric. Already on the inside, we've got that ring of bubbles forming, so. But you can also.
Made of embers.
The inside of the. Much more. This is better.
Plenty of roaring heat coming off that itself, but on this top rim around it, which definitely.
The amount of time that we spent on the one with the.
Bowl that's on fire.
Does anybody?
If you hit this bomb in the middle, you'll be subscribed to our channel. That way you'll never miss out on a video. Or if the heat is directly going. It was centered originally, but for some reason.
we crack apart.
I think it's gonna go pretty quick. It's a metal bowl, it's gonna go pretty quick. Contact with the fire.
We're getting this frothy boil and it's less than half the...
So down there,
Oh, actually, that's true.
season has started to settle over to... That's a pretty cool looking bowl, honestly. It's also much... Have the same kind...
I'll be putting my hand in that, but the fact that I can still... But it's less than half the amount of time.
Because that thing puts out a lot of heat. And second, we're gonna try filling the bowl all the way. And today, but you know, we've always got more for you to see that box up at the top.
Real quick. I think mostly at this point it's just steaming because it is freezing. So right now you can see
bowl. We've got a couple of wooden bowls and we're gonna try water to boil, or if we just have a bowl on fire, or boil.
normally when you put anything that contains water in the fire,
As you said, it is a bowl that's been glued together and it's splitting apart. Oh, one edge and the other side just isn't boiling as much.
So Nate was hungry and it's lunchtime and we have some boiled.
And it is going up the sides of the bowl quite
right now.
It does kind of smell like that.
Yeah, this doesn't smell
And
like...
I just point out that this looks like the Goblet of Fire or something from Harry Potter, because it's like a... So it's very much where it's right in the section's going, and it's looking like a flower with petals.
I wonder what would happen if you just set one of these...
In the next one, talk to you then. It's still boiling. Our bowl actually is basically on fire down here, so it's very even.
And there was more water, so I'm calling that a success. In here, but you can see the varnish that's just bubbled up off of this
Water, but it definitely wasn't boiling water.
The propane burner. I'm curious to see if it's...
It might be counterintuitive, thinking like, oh, more water, it's going to be harder. It's horrendously impractical.
So you can see already the heat difference here. Wow,
You say that's boiling?
that's boiling.
That looks-
Burn here.
But it's also down at the bottom. Yeah, the wood is like cracking and stuff down at the bottom.
This is a glued bowl. This isn't like carved out in one piece. So
Containers by like taking a hot rock, expanding through the... Yes, it's boiling. We
did it. We made it happen.
So a roll
Well, it's been...
you could cook in. I think it is boiling and you could cook with it, but it looks like it's lighting on
You know-
fire. Now we see if we can get the stove. Maybe it just doesn't get hot enough. It burned quite a bit on the bottom. It did never really... All right, foundry. We're gonna try a couple.
Hold together. Bowl's on fire. Would it just like bloom out? The propane stove.
As a comparison with this propane, there we go. It's a lot of fire. What keeps it from burning is all of the heat going into the water instead of staying on the cup.
Like a wood burn. This is definitely a chemical like lacquer.
Right.
Put my hand in there for several seconds. I don't make lunch. I'm gonna try and pick up the...
All right, we did not get water to boil on our electric.
Hoping this doesn't work just so that we can light the foundry. I am very cold.
All right, burns down to the level of the water because what the bowl is burned, the bottom of the bowl is just like, oh, less of the bowl burns up. We're gonna try.
Situation, if you didn't have a metal bowl, you would probably have to stick a wooden bowl. This is probably gonna fall apart, but let's see if we can pick it up.
We do have water boiling. Weirdly, it seems to only be boiling on one side where the microwave. But that doesn't mean, check that out. The other box shows you what YouTube thinks you should be watching next. Give that a click as well. If boil, that's what happens when the average already making little bubbles right at the very contact, like at the bottom of the...
I think we're that close to boiling yet.
I think we need to scale it up one more time. We were trying to actually just boil it the way you boil stuff in a bowl, or
I have a scrap of paper. I need to write my name immediately.
before it gets to a boiling point, but like it's all
Insulating, but there's still some protection. The nice part about this is that we're gonna get an ambient heat. The flame is definitely going out from where it was burning the bowl, but look.
Now I expect it's still gonna burn the...
I don't think the sides are gonna burn. That's just not gonna happen.
We'll find out.
Propane burner.
So yeah, lighter weight.
Right?
Lost a lot of mass. We set out to see if you stove. I want to try a metal bowl, and we're gonna time it. We're gonna see how that's actually from the sides of the bowl, or if. So I think we need to step our game up.
Now we're gonna try.
How long it takes for it to boil in a metal bowl, and then compare that to the wood. It's still putting heat into the water.
right.